Good morning. It's Friday. Fridays are my favorite. Today, how to close a deal. That's what training's about. How to close a deal. Jakey Baker first on the mic, my man. What's going on? Courtney, welcome. Samir, welcome. Team David Meltzer, they gave me the clap, but I'd rather have 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. How do you join the free training? How do you watch the replay? It's right there, pinned below. It is right there, 949-298-2905. Join my text community. Jesse, good morning, everyone. Email me if you've missed any of the trainings. They're all featured on a playlist on Spotify. They're featured on Entrepreneur. They are on every platform. All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and you can get the guides, the books for free, the exercises for free, the trainings for free, the replays are for free. Why not? You are going to learn today some great methodologies on how to close a deal. A lot of people are good openers, but very few are good closers. All right, you got to be a good closer. What kind of screen is behind you? That is from the Sports Engager guys. They're all around the country. It allows me to take pictures, to put templates, so when people come in for interviews, I can go ahead and give them a souvenir, email it out, post it. Tonini is a great client of mine, and Terry, his brother. These are in stadiums, arenas, and they hook up to the board, digital cards. You can see there's me and Danica, who are keynoting Web Summit together, and driving in the fast lane with Danica Patrick. And I also have behind me Danica Patrick's Rosé, personally signed by Danica Patrick. Sorry, I'm a fanboy. I think she's an amazing person, amazing competitor, amazing entrepreneur. Any advice for actors? The legs feed the lion. For me, I told somebody this advice. If I was an actor and I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, I would go get a high-paying sales job, because nothing's going to train you to act better than selling. So you might as well play the role of, a real estate, car, insurance, some sort of salesperson, and play that role. And because you would be paid almost as much, if not more, than being an actor. So I have several acting clients and business executive clients that I said, hey, look, if I were you, I know you can still go on salespeople have much freer schedules as well. But I would practice my acting skills by being a salesperson and making a ton of money while I was developing my skills. I think Danielle is here from my Unfiltered experience. I have an incredible event in the beauty space, giving some great advice and a unique perspective. There she is.
Hi, David. Good morning.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I am good. I'm barely awake on my first cup of coffee. How are you?
I'm way past. I don't drink coffee, but I'm way past that in energy. So it's so great to see you this morning.
You too. You too. Happy to hang out with you for a few minutes of chat.
Yeah, it's going to be a great warm-up. I get to come to your Unfiltered experience, and I thought maybe you could share with everyone what you're doing and how they can come and learn from what you're doing.
Yeah. So we were so excited to actually have you in person at the LA event back in April. And then with COVID, everything now is going virtual. So we had to do the same thing and adapt. But the event is October 27th through November 12th. And it really is an opportunity for beauty entrepreneurs from all over the country to connect with buyers from the US as well as international, Europe. And virtual makes it so awesome because you could have people from all over the world with no travel, right? The location's not an issue anymore. And then we're connecting brands with influencers and then with industry experts. But really, we want to provide them a lot of know-how as well to grow their businesses, to keep them motivated. And that's where you come in because you have such an awesome story. And I thought you'd be so inspirational for them to really talk about entrepreneurship and the hurdles, the ups and downs. And there's a lot of those too. It's like a roller coaster ride. And then how did you find your path, and talk a little bit about, connecting to goodness and really, trying to do good and then be fair in business, and then hopefully everything comes full circle. So we're excited to have you talk. You'll be the keynote on October 29th.
It's a perfect place for a perfect message. You know, I always say, don't waste a crisis, right? A crisis provides great opportunity. And especially in the fashion world, you know, I was with someone yesterday that had pajamas that now are going crazy because they're for women with menopause. They are made of bamboo, so they keep you cool. They're antibacterial, all types of great properties in fashion. But because of COVID, people started wondering about, hey, I'm in pajamas a lot more than I was before. I better use my
Pajama.
fashion sense and inspiration. But you know, we talk about feeling good. One of the things that I teach and that you help with people is the better we look and the better we feel about how we look. Fashion is so important to feeling good. And you know, two things that I know when I'm not feeling good, I shower, I shave, I put on something I really like, so I feel good about myself, then I go help somebody else. And that's kind of my formula for the minutes and moments that I spend in challenge, pain, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial pain that may occur in my life. And it gets me so quickly back to center. Why do you think the way we look has such an internal effect on how we feel?
Well, that's the first thing you see, right? When you look in the mirror, and how many times do you really look in the mirror? I think there was a study on it that we're looking in the mirror like a few hundred times a day. So, you know, when you see that, it's kind of like that first glance reassurance that, oh, you know, like everything looks good, I feel good, that. So it kind of translates to it. But, you know, going back to what you said, even our approach, so yeah, we do help entrepreneurs connect with the different dots to grow their business, but our education also is very much focused on, you know, beauty is not just on the surface, it's really from within. So what do you do to nurture yourself? And I'm not talking food and supplements, although those are important. But, you know, it's more about like, what do you read? And then what do you expose yourself to? And, you know, and yeah, what actions do you take with your community around you? And all of that, you know, that makes you feel better and therefore you look better. So to me, you know, it's a holistic approach, and that's how we created the event as well. And the education we have and the conversations we have are around, you know, this whole total approach and not just the surface.
It's so interesting as well with the advent of amplification. You know, fashion was a closed experience before, and you and I have been around entrepreneurship and business for long enough to see how the unbelievable potential, not only how far a brand can reach, but also how many brands can reach far. Where we used to see very limited brands be world brands. Now, when something has the right frequency, it addresses the right spectrum of people, and it just can accelerate and grow. And it really allows the strongest signals with the best frequencies in fashion, that the ones, like you say, that resonate internally, to grow at such an exponential rate. You know, one of the things in the business side of why it's so important to go to Unfiltered Experience is there's a lot of business issues, not just on the challenge side, but on the growth side. You know,
Yeah.
supply chain management is a whole nother thing when you're shipping worldwide. And, you know, I see so many brands, especially in the beauty and fashion area, that, you know, things double. So it seems like, oh no, things aren't going well. You know, I got 2 customers and then 4 and then 8, then 16. Well, when you're on the 20th, you got 2 million customers, and then your next launch is 4 million, and then it goes to 8 million. All of a sudden, you don't have product and you don't have capacity, and you haven't figured out the import export, and you can ruin your business from too much success. Are you going to talk about that during the experience as well, on how to handle the supply chain and pragmatic side beyond the inspirational stuff that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about best practices to grow a business. So right now, especially with COVID, we've seen a shift in terms of the distribution. So whereby, you know, we used to go and buy fashion and then beauty in a store, and that was a whole experience around it. That has kind of been taken away right now. So we're all shopping online. So direct to consumer has become suddenly so much more important. And we've seen exponential growth for many companies, right? Like I've seen so many examples of entrepreneurs that started out with us, you know, as baby companies. They just came to market. They met with the buyer from, say, Sephora or QVC, and then, you know, 5 years later, they're billion-dollar unicorn brands. So it could happen very quickly. But one of the things also that happens a lot is as you grow, like you were saying, like suddenly you have this major order from, you know, Ulta or Sephora. But how do you fund it? How do you get inventory at that point? Because yeah, you're gonna have to have a lot of merchandise to ship out throughout the different stores, you know, throughout the country. So where do you get that money? So we have that conversation as well. And then, like I said, best practices on how to grow your business. So we take it across the different phases. Including motivational, but yeah, we talk more about business, meat and potatoes as well.
Yeah, and one of the greatest parts of the health and beauty space and fashion industry to me is the big companies are now in a position where they're looking for entrepreneurs. If you build your company up to a $30 million company, they go ahead and offer you $100 million for it. They instantly make it a $1 billion company through their distribution channels and customer base and database. It's such a great formula. I actually see it starting to happen in the podcast world. Joe Rogan is the first one where, you know, Spotify buys his audience for 100 million. Will instantly, not just through the stock price, but through the distribution and database they have, make that a $1 billion entity. And I think it's really important for people to understand the exponential growth, the acceleration. But in the end, and why I'm so excited to participate with you, is that you can't find outside of you what you don't have inside. And I really want to work on the inside stuff to make sure that people know that they have control of their mindset, their heart set of what they feel, and of course, what they think, say, do will align with their heart set and their mindset. And you're someone that has done that, not just for yourself, but on a mission like I am, to empower others, to do that as well. What's your big mission for this event? What would be your big takeaway or your greatest success?
You know what I'm super excited about? So for me, I've done this for many years. I've been an award-winning organizer. I've managed the largest exhibition in beauty in the US for 13 years, and then left to start Unfiltered. And my whole vision was always to help entrepreneurs and help startups, right? And connect the dots for them. And then through my access, because I've been so privileged to have so many awesome connections in the business world, you know, try to bring them some of that access as well. So for this event, one of the biggest things that we have that I'm super proud of is this program called Rising Stars. And it is, we've partnered with Target Accelerators. And basically, we ran this campaign where any beauty entrepreneur that had a brand, right, an emerging beauty brand, and they wanted to scale up or they want to get eventually to Target, they could apply. And then Target was looking at all of the applicants, and we got so many, David. We had one-day application, and we had hundreds of applications, right, from companies. So then the Target team looked at all of them and then selected 20 companies that actually subsidized their cost to be in the event, because they believe so much in what we do and the way we help connect these brands holistically across the board. And the Target Accelerator merchants will be, the managers will be part of the event, and they'll meet with those brands to decide, you know, which ones make it to the Target Accelerator 2021. And that's so massive, you know, it's like a huge partnership and such a great opportunity for these brands. And, you know, it was so cool when we sent that congratulations email, because they were so excited. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm really proud about.
Well, we're going to have to partner together. I have my new show picked up by Bloomberg and Reach, and we're going to have a 2-minute drill pitch competition, and each episode has $50,000 with cash and prizes for the winners. So we'll have to get some more beauty and fashion companies from you to come on over and win some cash and prizes just on the pitch.
We have to. You actually, you know, I did the first beauty pitch ever in the beauty industry when I ran the other trade shows. And it was massive. So I would love to do it again. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. We'll get all those people on 2-minute drill. Check out Unfiltered Experience. Where else can people find you, Daniela?
Well, we are on social, so we post a lot of the news that we have regarding the brand partners, and then the speakers, the content we post on Instagram. So unfiltered experience, and then unfilteredexperience.com is the website, so people can sign up if they want to learn about the beauty business and then how to scale faster. Tickets are on sale now, and as I said, the event kicks off October 27th.
October 27th, it kicks off. October 29th, I've been blessed to be the keynote. So join me, join Danielle, empower others to make more money, help more people, and have more fun through beauty and fashion. No better way to do it. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you for everything you do. Remember, entrepreneurs are going to save the world and make you look better all at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. At the Unfiltered Experience, check danielleout.com or at Unfiltered Experience. October 27th. I'll be speaking the 29th, but check out everything. They have extraordinary people from end-to-end solutions of how to be a great fashion and beauty entrepreneur. Like I said, we're all going to look good while we save the world as entrepreneurs. Let's take a few more questions. Hopefully, we've been loading them up. In about 2 hours and 45 minutes at 11 a.m., I am going to do a free training on closing, how to close a deal. You don't want to miss it. But if you do, it's featured. I got a playlist on Spotify. It's featured there. It's featured on Entrepreneur. It's on every platform. If you want to join me, all you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or text me to join my community, 949-298-2905. Let's take some questions. Get warmed up for today. What do you think? I love it. What's the key to stimulating interest? Yeah, you know that the insiders, when they're asking questions, that key to stimulating interest is to get somebody to transition. Meaning, example, if I'm on the phone, only two things can happen. They can answer or I leave a message. You got it? They're available or I can leave a message. Too many people get too complicated in stimulating interest, whether it's a phone call, in person, email. They can either answer you or you're leaving a message. It's that simple. So what's your objective of stimulating interest? Getting a call back. Whatever that means logistically. Telephone is actually a call back. Email is an email back. Social media may be a DM back. In person, it may be questions and open-ended questions. But it's very simple. When you're stimulating interest, you want a call back. So everything we should be directed directly towards that callback. You don't oversell, back and sell, manipulate, lie, and cheat. At that stage, you don't lose your credibility. You stay specifically focused on getting that call back. Because you can either what? Talk to someone or leave a message. Those are only two things you can do when you're stimulating interest. All right, we'll get focused in on that today. Next question, what's the most important part of the sales process? Managing and developing the vision. And included within that is collecting. So managing and developing a vision, I don't sell to people, I sell through them. And managing and developing the vision is 80% of the process. So people that do that build a sales force for free. All right, training will also be on IG Live, by the way. So 11 a.m. Pacific time, you can just log right back in. It'll be on here live. We'll also have that on here. What lessons you learned this week that you'd like to share? To take somebody's weaknesses and move it somewhere where it's a strength. I had time as things are progressing to look at my key executives and where they're weak. And I'm moving them to where that weakness is a strength for the better and greater good of all. So that's the lesson that I've learned for this week. What is your favorite part about selling? People. My least favorite part and favorite part about almost everything is people. Favorite part about coming to work is the people that work with me, and the least favorite is the people that work with me because I care so much about them, and there's so many multi-variables involved. The people. I love to inspire and empower people, and selling is a great way and to do that through people. How to deal with feelings of shame. Accountability is the best way to deal with shame. Stop, drop, and roll is the best way to deal with shame. Shame is an ego-based consciousness. Do you do business consulting? Yes, I do. I also have private sales groups, private coaching group, private business groups. Very, 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 very inexpensive token payments and guaranteed. So david@dmeltzer.com. Sorry for the commercial. So anyway, go back to that question real quick. Shame is a ego-based consciousness. When you can identify you're in shame, you got to stop, drop, and roll, get down to center, and use accountability. Ask yourself, what did I do? What did I do to do this? And what am I supposed to learn from it? Once you do that, the shame will go away. Remember that forgiveness is the key to erasing shame. And you do that through accountability. What is your best? You're my best. All right. Let's keep these rolling. Woo, sorry. What's the most important part of the sale? Oh, I did that one. Sorry. Just rolling through these. Any advice for someone trying to find their passion in life? Find your what and the why will come. Take inventory of your values, personal, get your non-negotiable set, your experiential. What do you want to experience today? Your giving and receiving values. Find your what. Ask yourself, what do I want to do today? The why will come. The why will come because you'll apply what you want to do to how you can be of service or value to others. That's your why, how to be of service or value to others. But you need to know your what. Most people don't know what the heck they're doing because they don't take inventory of their values. How many people are you going to ask today, hey, what do you want to do? And I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Find your what. People that know their what, you'll know they know their what. You know people are taking inventory of their values. You know they are game time decision makers when you take them out to eat and say, what do you want? And they're like, I'll take the pokey. All right, that's someone I want to hang out with, a decision maker. All right, here we go. What was your dream career growing up and how did you become a salesperson? My dream job was to be a professional football player, and I pursued that with the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of my potential. I had a football in my hand almost always, but I was a natural. I have a quantum memory to be able to share a vision, to inspire, to motivate, to align, to utilize the 5 to thrive subconsciously and unconsciously. And when I realized the benefits of understanding how to share a vision and sell through people, I started to focus in on, pay attention to, and give intention to the coincidences that I wanted with that. What advice would you give a 20-year-old? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90, or 100 years old? Listen up. The advice that I'm giving you is be radically humble. You cannot out-ask the universe. You can't out-ask the number of times you ask, and you can't ask big enough. You got that? Be radically humble. Ask people, do you know anyone that can help me? There are no gatekeepers in the world. There's simply what? Sponsors and power sponsors. Until you change your mindset and your heart set that everybody's here to help me and sell through them, you're not going to get it. You got to be humble. You got to find people that are where you want to be and ask them for directions, right? We got to ask for directions. The easiest way to get to where we want to be is ask for directions from someone that's there. So go find someone that's there. Be radically humble. Ask, do you know anybody that can help me? Make them your power sponsor or at least their sponsor. What are the 5 to thrive? 5 to thrive is stimulate interest, transition interest, share a vision, manage and develop a vision, and thrive. Selling through people will thrive. I'm going to go through that today on Friday, how to close a deal. You can join my sales group. We're going to start on November 1st. Private sales group to teach people, guaranteed. I'm guaranteeing you make money. It's a profit center. You cannot miss it. This Friday's training is free as a profit center. The exercises, the guides, free. Profit Center. All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or join my text community, 949-298-2905. Pray to God. Faith is a currency, an object of energy that you put into the flow to get what you want. Stuck with no plan or no motivation to move forward. All right, if you're stuck, that's a good thing. Let's get stuck getting stuck. First, let's get motivated. Lower the bar. Remember, anything can motivate you. The first 10 minutes suck. I've been working out for years and years and years. I've never at the end of a workout said, dang, I wish I didn't do that. That sucked. No. Every time at the beginning, though, I'm like, dang, I don't want to do this. These first 10 minutes suck. So get started, get restarted, get up, get back up. Find something that will motivate you to do that. Fear, friends, accountability, whatever it is, love. Get something to get you up. Tell yourself, First 10 minutes are going to suck. I'm going to lower the bar. If you want to work out, just put your shoes on. Lower the bar so you can just get started, and then realize consistent, persistent behavior will accelerate, grow, and exponentially allow you to get what you want. All right. If you go ahead, email me if you want more tips on being stuck, on getting stuck. What's the most important thing you're practicing every day? My 5 daily practices. So taking inventory of my values, asking and attracting. I'm a student, especially with my calendar, doing it now and practicing ending fear. Probably out of the 5, practicing ending fear is the most important. I've been able to take it from years to months, months to weeks, weeks to days, days to hours, hours to minutes, minutes to moments. That's how quickly I can get back to center. All right, look at here now. Where are we at? One more question, maybe we'll take somebody live. Thank you for keeping them coming. How do you deal with the times where your energy is low? I asked myself, can I use the free power that I have? And speaking of the free power, free will that I have to clear the interference and clear the corrosion to the connection that I have to the most powerful source of light, love, and energy ever. And if you don't believe me, just meet Sheldon, my friend, because watch this. Boom! Did I tell you? Perfect timing.
Hi.
You just lit up my screen. What a perfect question to lead into you. How do I deal with not being motivated or feeling low? And then, boom! I'll tell you how you clear away the interference, clear away the cobwebs. You and I are both not only connected to a great source, but we're connected to each other. I know that because every time you come onto a screen or I see you, it clears, right? I energetically feel so good and so much more energy. I could go run a mile right now.
Good, good. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here.
One of the common questions I get, and you're the perfect person to answer, is how do you stay so happy and so motivated? What's the secret?
The secret is it's a practice. It is not something that is just intuitive. It is a practice. I am naturally extroverted like yourself. So it may come easier to us, but it's a practice, just like anything. It's like the athletes that you work with. I was a Division I athlete. We go to practice every single day. And even when we lose, we go to practice on Monday. And so I think that people think that it's just this inherent thing and I'm only going to be joyous when I win and I'm only going to be joyous when amazing things happen to me. But we got to look at tape. We got to look at what we did wrong. We got to go back to figure it out. And I think people forget that. It's similar. We're easy and able to go to the gym, right? We're saying, okay, if I want to slim down, I want to go to the gym or I want to be on this diet, but it's a lifestyle change just as well to be motivated. So I say to, everyone, if you want to be an athlete in life, if you want to be a champion in life, our favorite professional athletes, they go to practice every day. They go to practice, even if they are Super Bowl winners, they go to practice. And so motivation is a practice. It's not just something we wish for. So,
yeah. And what's so cool about practice too, is invariably the beginning, it's harder to go to practice. Sometimes I want to go to practice. Sometimes I don't. No matter what it is, practicing being happy. But the cool thing about practice is I never feel when I'm done with practice that it was a bad choice.
Never.
Forever. And I've been practicing something since I've been a little tiny young man and boy. But here's the question that I thought about when I was coming up with this idea. I was telling people, I've been working out my whole life and I've never finished a workout and said, gosh, I'm sorry I did that. That sucked. Never.
Right.
And the question I then came up with, has there ever been a game? So a game day is different than practice.
Yeah.
Have there ever been a game? Yeah. See, I've never had a game where I'm like, I don't want to play the game because I practice so well.
Right.
This is the payday, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't want to close the deal. I've worked 6 months on a deal. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to the closing. That's what the game is. The question I have is, have you ever experienced after the game saying, gosh, I wish I didn't play the game? So I've never not wanted to practice, but after the game, have you ever said to yourself, God, I wish I didn't do that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, and that is the competitive nature in me inherently. I mean, I think that those on the entrepreneurial journey, right? We're fools, right? We quit our 40-hour-a-week job to work 90 hours a week, right? We are driven by being in a space where we are self-driven in that way. I think that what they're fearing is the plays not working out the way they did in practice, right? I think that's the fear. It's not about whether or not they're winning or losing, is that, did I prepare enough? Right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the analysis paralysis that they have is what I prepared or what I built or the pen that I created or the outfit that I created or the service that I'm about to launch. Have I practiced enough in order to win this game? And I think that that's what stalls them. I don't even think it's the game. I think it's, am I prepared enough to perform and win? And I think that we don't play the game always to win. We play to play. And I think that that's the part that we love. And so when we retire from sports, that's the part we miss, right? We miss being on the bus. We miss wearing the uniform. We miss the camaraderie. We miss the huddle. And I think that we've got to play for that. We've got to play for the huddle, not necessarily for the win.
Yeah, play for the locker room, play for the huddle. There's a word that changed my life. And because people say, oh, you work too much. Oh, you're busy. Oh, and I said, once I put things into a man-made construct of time, everybody's allotted 24 hours of time. But that 24 hours is different for everyone. For sure. And, I joke around, but I tell people, if I was doing one of my trainings and it sucked, it may be the longest hour of your life. If it's super good, it may be the fastest hour of your life. But sure, in the man-made construct, it's still 60 minutes. Each minute has 60 seconds. So I started analyzing this word, which changed my life, and it was just activity. And when I looked at things, for example, money is very important to me. I believe it's a currency, just like faith. And I know faith and money are both important to you. But I started dividing my time to, is this activity I get paid for? Or is this activity I don't get paid for? And how can I apply the currency of faith to my activity? How can I apply the inspiration to, because it changed the whole practice game. They're both activities. And I made a conscious choice to be as active as I can, because I know two things about active. One, it makes the time better. Right. I don't know if it's faster, so it just makes time better when you're active. It makes time more valuable for me. And then two, that activity allows me to be more productive. Right. And in productivity comes pursuit, and in pursuit comes happiness. And so activity is a very important thing to do. So it allows us to study what are some of the things that you do to stay active. Well, I love this. I'm a doer, right? I don't do well sitting down. Like, this quarantine was a little rough in the beginning for me, I have to tell you. There was a lot of sleeves of Oreo cookies and waking up in crumbs. That's an activity. This can't be my life. This, I am safe at home, but I've got to figure out how to get busy. I think a lot of people get caught up in the treadmill of things. And that's, for me, my analogy on that is that though you work up a sweat, when you step off that treadmill, you haven't gone anywhere. You physically have not moved forward. And I think a lot of people are busy being busy, but they're not necessarily moving forward. So one of the things that I really think is so super important is to ensure that your activities are moving you closer to what it is that you want. Because a lot of people take on so many things and they're like, oh, David, I'm so busy. Sheldon, I'm so busy. And I'm like, busy doing what? Like, what are you busy doing? Is it getting you closer to what it is that you want? So I think that I have a philosophy on the to-do list. So many people out there, I'm sure people who follow you have this to-do list, right? This long list of things in which they're going to get to. This laundry list of things in which, my daughter's 9, and on my to-do list in the past was pay her college tuition. Right? It was like wild, right? And so what my philosophy is now is my today list. It's what am I going to do today? And it should not have more, in my opinion, more than 5 things on it. It's about staying focused on things that will get you closer to what it is that you want. And you might have a long goal, right? But a lot of us are focused on the long goal without understanding what the short term, what I call sticker goals, need to be before you get to your long-term goal. So what I do is I focus on what is going to move me forward. If it's sending an email for some of you that are out there, hello MailChimp, hello Consecata, sending those scenarios. If it's doing a Facebook Live that you've been dreading,
if it's just reaching out to your database that you haven't really taken care of. For me, it's about being intentional. It's not just being busy for the sake of being busy, because I've been there. If those of you are there, I've been there. I've just been working up a sweat and going nowhere. For me, David, it is about being really intentional and narrowing it down to 5 key things that I need to accomplish today, and function in that activity and make sure that that's getting me closer to where I need to be.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly aligned. That today list for me incorporates the fact that in order to create a today list of 5 items, you have to take inventory of your values. Because you have to, and that's what people don't do. They don't look at their personal, and when they're just busy to be busy. Now, I don't even like the word busy, because busy means unaccessible. It means you're not accessible. I'm very active. I'm extremely active, but I'm one of the most accessible people. People are like, oh my God, how'd you call me? How'd you do this? Because I have that non-negotiable list that you're talking about, my today list based on my values, not afraid to be a hypocrite and say I changed my mind. But more importantly, I do it now as well. So to expand on the today list, if something comes up and I have taken inventory of my values, I can ask myself, can I do it now? Prioritizing against the 5 that I have listed. If I do it now, I save so much time, statistical success and exponential success, that and if I don't do it now, then it just goes into a repository that I can evaluate it. Is it going to be one of my top 5 for tomorrow?
Right.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think that so many people, again, being consumed with their long-term, I can't move, I can't budget, I can't go. There are so much opportunity if you're grounded in something. And so I'm lucky. I get to teach undergraduates, which is it's a whole thing. I'm an adjunct professor at Temple University in Philadelphia. And these kids come to me and they're like, Sheldon, but I don't know. I want to be a lot of different things. I want to do a lot of different things. So I don't know if any of your people out there are like, I'm kind of this and I'm kind of that, and they're all over the place and they can't really hone in. I think you can be all over the place, but you have to be able to departmentalize, and you have to be able to get yourself organized based on your equation. No one, though we are obsessed with Target, nobody gets lost in Target because everything's in an aisle, right? If not, somebody comes with a maroon shirt and saves the day and moves something around, right? And so it's about departmentalizing what you need to get done and being okay in that space, but making sure, like you said, if your values are there, you have a foundation. You have a foundation of who it is that you are. That affords you, just like a house, you have a foundation of your house. In that house, once you have that foundation, you can decorate your house any way you want. You can change the decorations, you can change the walls, you can change all of those things, but you must have the foundation in order to be productive, in order to dive into those activities and gain results that get you closer to what you want. And so I really think that that's really about, I agree with you, that value proposition, your unique equation is what I call it. It's your foundation that only belongs to you, that will allow for you to move and flow based on when opportunities come, because you'll be able to weigh them. Does this serve the foundation of my life? Or is this something that will just be okay passing me by?
Right. Or does it feed me? I'll feed it. And if it doesn't, if it bleeds me, let it go. The one thing that you look at life with is this kaleidoscope that I have, which is you're looking at things, how productive, how much value am I providing to others? How accessible am I to others? How am I accessing what I want? And of finding the light, the love, and the lessons and everything. In other words, when I think of Sheldon, I think of someone who's always, you're happy where you are. You're in the right place at the perfect time, but you're always angling towards something better, multiple opportunities and options based on that foundation. And the one part that we'll finish up on is you always have faith. You're an optimist like me. You'll have faith that you're going to end up somewhere better than that. So you're happy where you are, you're angling to something better, but you have faith that you're going to end up somewhere even better than you can figure out. Where does the faith part come in for as we close out, and then tell me where everyone can find your inspirational self?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am grounded in that. I'm grounded in knowing that I'm here for more. I'm grounded in knowing that I have something to offer. I'm clear in that. I know that my energy is transferable. I know that I have the power to take someone's dimness and make it into a light. I know that. And so I lean into that. I lean into the strengths that I have been given and leave my weaknesses for somebody who find those as strengths. If I am not good at math, right? I am not, that is not my space. You need me to do a keynote? I got you. You need me to be your accountant? Not so much, right? But I know people that live for Excel sheets. I know people that love to balance checkbooks, and I'm going to give that to them. I'm going to let them have it and thrive within it, because I have faith that what it is that I'm meant to do is meant for me, that my equation belongs to me, and that I can be a better contributor to my world, to my community, by leaning into who I am. So I live in faith every day, all day. And I encourage all of you to do the same. You can find me, my wonderful friend, everywhere you find at This Is It TV, personally at Sheldon Barlatt, and at thisisittv.com. I constantly am sharing my community, my content, and real connections. So thank you so much for having me.
And she's constantly sharing the love and light and lessons that she's learned and from and through other people as well. And that's why I'm a huge fan and friend of yours. Anything I can do, let me know. I love you.
Thank you. You spoil me. Everyone have a wonderful day and scream your dreams.
You got it. Thank you, Sheldon. At Sheldon Barlatt. Check it out. She's pinned up there as well. All right. We are 2 hours and 20 minutes away from training how to close a deal. And I'm going to work with the pragmatic side and the faithful side of closing a deal. Sheldon is just amazing. There you go. I'm quoting that right there. Sheldon Barlatt right there. And she is on. You got to check her out. That's all I got to say. Change your life. Change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. Change the people you surround yourself. You yourself will change. Look inside for what you want outside, and you'll find people like children. That's what you'll find outside. Peace, love, and light. Thank you. David at dmeltzer.com. You join me every Friday for free. If you miss the trainings or can't make the trainings, they're featured on Spotify, Entrepreneur, every platform. All you got to do is email me, David at dmeltzer.com. You can join my text community, 949-298-2905. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then we're going to get ready for training, how to close a deal, make more money, help more people, and have more fun, selling through people, building a life you love. What brand builders do you look up to? Gary Vaynerchuk, Tom Bilyeu, Ed Milet. And I look up to them, I look sideways to them, and I look down with them because I am connected to them and through them. And they are great leaders of brands, and have done an extraordinary job building personal brands that can be leveraged in all types of ways. Thank you, Calvin. David at dmeltzer.com. Hopefully y'all going to join me. I love a big crowd around the world, from Jordan to Asia to England to Australia, New Zealand, all over America. Come join me at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss it, I get it. It's Friday afternoon. We got weddings this weekend, a lot of them. We got weddings that weekend, a lot of them. So if you can't make it, then check me out. The new ones come on Monday, but the exercises, guides, my books, all for free. I'll sign one and send it to you. I'll pay for shipping. I don't care. I'm just here to empower you, to empower others to be happy. Let's do it. Email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Check me out on Spotify. Check me out on Entrepreneur. You can learn a lot from me and unbelievable people like Danielle and Sheldon who have joined us today. What's your expectations for 2021? Same as they always are. Making more money, helping more people, and having more fun. It's going to be the best year, day, week, month, minute, moment of my life. 2021. I love the number 21, by the way. I represented the Clemente family, a huge Clemente fan. 21 was my football number as well in college. So I'm a big 21 man. So 2021 has to bring even extra. The empty miles coming in 2021. All right, let me check out one more question here. Thank you, Courtney, and thank you, Blaine, by the way. I appreciate all the questions on here. I'm trying to get my team motivated to ask more questions, to be more interested than interesting. And love the people that are on here. And those that aren't, I appreciate you as well. We can always help me out by asking me some unbelievable questions. But I want to point out my team. That's right, Courtney and Blaine. I love your questions on here. Thank you so much. What's your favorite part about coaching? I will tell you, my favorite part about coaching, and I'm blessed, is to hear myself channel advice and then say to myself while I'm coaching, gosh, that's good advice. You should take it. I would say almost always I should do as I say. And I get the opportunity multiple times a day through all the coaching and business advisory and trainings and things that I do, group and individual, to sit there all day long and say, you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you got to listen to yourself and take your own advice. Favorite absolute part about coaching others is learning myself. Anyway, we've done it. 2 hours and 15 minutes, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. David@dmeltzer.com. You can join me, free training, how to close a deal. I'm going to go through it, Q&A included. Please join me. Daniela, thank you so much. What's a recent lesson that you learned? Multiple lessons, but the one for me is taking people's weaknesses, moving them to a different place to create a strength. That was the lesson from earlier. But more importantly, everybody, please join me 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern today. And if you can't, which is the majority of you, and it will be on Instagram Live, it'll be on LinkedIn Live, it'll be live everywhere. If you can't, all the replays, there's a playlist developed by Spotify, featured on Spotify, of all the trainings. It's the top downloaded podcast. I have my trainings more than all the great celebrities like Danica and Aniko, but everyone. Bray Lewis, one of my favorites, if you haven't seen it. Anyway, all you got to do, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Get the exercises, guides, free books, all there. Or text me, 949-298-2905. Just want to thank everybody today. Come to training. Let's all get together, empower others to empower others, be happy. Most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you at 11. Thanks.